floor weakness is epidemic in our culture. And what makes this even sadder is that most of it is preventable. Signs of pelvic floor weakness include urinary incontinence, also known as sensitive bladder. This means that you sneeze and you might urinate a little bit. You might urinate a little bit when you try to lift a weight. Also a little bit of trouble making it to the bathroom on time. Those are all signs, and that's what all of the women's diapers and all those ads, that's all about, trying to compensate for the symptom, but it's not going to resolve what's causing everything. Another sign of weak pelvic floor can actually be prolapse, where you can feel the vagina, the uterus starting to come out, which is a more dramatic stage, but it starts with weak pelvic floor muscles. A third sign of pelvic floor weakness is a lessening of orgasm. Having a strong pelvic floor and blood circulation and connection with our pelvic floor muscles and our vaginal muscles are going to make for stronger, more intense orgasms. Now don't panic. Most of this is preventable. This is one thing that drives me crazy, is because there's so much you can do. I think all women should be doing pelvic floor exercises. And one of the reasons this fails is the traditional Kegels, you're just tightening your muscles and releasing. So it's not enough of an activation of the muscles to really make a big difference. So all women should be doing pelvic floor exercises that are more focused at every age. It's necessary when you're pregnant or after you've had a baby to recover the pelvic floor, especially if you've had vaginal childbirth. This is one of the big moments in a woman's life where they can develop a weakened pelvic floor. And also, as we approach menopause, necessary to do really intensive pelvic floor strengthening exercises. We're going to start off with the Jade Eggs. This started probably thousands of years ago in China. The ancient Taoist women would use the Jade Eggs to not only strengthen their pelvic floor, but also stimulate the uterus and increase the energy going to the ovaries. That was going to increase their sex hormones to keep them at higher levels as they got older, as a youthing practice. I know we don't talk a lot about that in Western terms, but sexual cultivation is key in ancient Taoist tradition to stay young and beautiful. So it has multiple levels of importance. And then we're going to use look at some modern tools that we have as well that are going to make it maybe even a little bit easier to really strengthen those pelvic floor muscles. These are two sets of Jade Eggs. Here we have a deep jade and a light jade. This is what was traditionally used. Here we have a rose quartz set. This is becoming more popular in modern times. Jade is a very yin stone. Yin is the feminine principle. It's cooling, it's calm, it's present, it's hydrated. So moisture is definitely, you want to increase moisture. Jade is a wonderful stone to do that. What's wonderful about rose quartz is it's going to increase love and connection with yourself, which is really important for this practice. The jade egg is a very simple concept. You have a little hole drilled through, and then you can get just regular dental floss or a piece of string and just thread it through. And then you're going to tie the end so that it's like a tampon. You're going to insert it wide side in first. The largest size is for women who've had vaginal childbirth. This medium size is what most women will start off with, and the little size is advanced. Now these eggs are pretty heavy, but the bigger one is going to be easier to hold because it's much wider, so you don't have to grasp as hard. When you get down to this size, you're going to have to grasp really strongly to keep it in. So this is why this one is more advanced. The whole purpose is to give feedback to your body, just like as if you're lifting a weight. If you are not tensing properly, you'll drop the egg. So it's instant feedback. The weight is also going to make it a little bit harder to tighten and pull up, which is what you want to do. To advance your practice even more, these come with a little bag. So you can have the jade egg inside. You can put your other eggs in the bag, tighten it up here, tie it to your cord, and then you have some extra weights to do really intensive weightlifting. So you can get really strong from this. These are more modern version. They're also similar to something called Bungwa balls. They have a little ball inside, so it causes a little vibration, which also gives a feedback when you're tensing and relaxing the muscles. These are the Laselle Kegel trainers, and this is the Luna mini balls. These are going to be a little bit smaller, so it depends on how small you want. Typically, women who've had vaginal delivery or have some weakened pelvic floor muscles want to start off a little bit bigger. Women who have stronger pelvic floor muscles, haven't had vaginal childbirth, probably want to start off with the smaller ones. But it's a similar concept. So same thing as a jade egg, you're going to insert it and you're going to have the little string hanging out like a tampon. The lighter one is going to be a lighter weight, darker is going to be the heaviest. And if you want to add weights, you can also string these through, and then you can do multiple weights that way. And then you can just pull it through. Put it around, and there you go. This is the Cadillac of the pelvic floor strengtheners. It is called the Kegel Smart, and it is similar to the system that they have in France called the perineal re-education that they do after childbirth, where they insert a biofeedback apparatus into the vagina, and they're going to read the strength of the vaginal muscles in order to rehabilitate it back to normal strength. This is going to do the same type of thing. You're going to put it into the vagina, you're going to turn it on, it's going to vibrate, and when it vibrates, you're going to tighten the vaginal muscles around it. The machine is going to read how strong your muscles are and choose a program accordingly. There's 5 different programs at 5 different levels. It starts you wherever you are, and then as you progress, you get stronger and stronger and go to more difficult programs. By the end, you will have very strong vaginal muscles and a much more toned pelvic floor. So it's a wonderful, this is what I recommend for women who are experiencing pelvic floor weakness symptoms or have had vaginal childbirth. This is the best way to start. Many women are going to need to use some sort of a lubricant from time to time to use one of these exercisers. If you're going to be using one of the modern plastic-coated ones, which is what a lot of us use, the best choice is to use a water-based lubricant. I recommend just using regular aloe gel. It's natural, it's cheap, it's simple to use. If you're using a jade egg, you have 2 choices. You can use aloe gel or another water-based lubricant, or you can use an oil-based lubricant, such as coconut oil. As women, it's very important for us to take control of our bodies and know our bodies. And this is such an easy thing that we can do to avoid so many issues that are associated with older age. Don't let anyone tell you when you should wear diapers.